We're going to do a little different deal on the rabbit here. I got him skinned out. He got his legs bent like this. His feet are sticking right here. And then he'll be bent over. They always bend over a little bit when they're sitting. And then they got their head up. So, we're going to make components of this rabbit. Then we'll put them together as we're putting him in the skin. We're going to do the front legs, the head, the body, and the legs. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to dismember this rabbit into pieces. The back legs, front legs, body, and head. So what we're going to do, just going to cut this back leg off. Just take and cut it. Like you were going to dress it out to fry it up. It's about what it's like. Okay, now I'm going to show you on one leg and then we'll go to the others. There's no sense in videotaping all of them. But we want the leg to be bent like this. We want him sitting. Remember, he's going to be sitting with his leg like this and his foot out here. His foot will be like this. And then he'll be sitting down like this, his body up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a drawing of his leg. You see how that works there? We're going to outline it. I can do it with a knife here, or a pen, or a pencil, or just outline it in the general shape you want it. I might add just a little bit more here to his leg length. Okay, there's the right leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. We'll use just a little keyhole saw. The basic shape, like this. Just rough it out. Just take short strokes. You don't want to break it. Now you can cast these if you want, but that's a little bit trickier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just rough this leg out with a rasp. Let me get this tilted just a little bit more. Get the basic outline around the lines done first. Okay? Just like that. At least on one side here. And now, we got this basic height of this. We're looking at about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. Just leave enough to give yourself some round the edges. Like that. So now we got our legs pretty well cut out. Yeah, I gotta get it. Just go ahead and round the edges. Be very careful at this leg. Now this leg is very thin. It's got to be pencil thin almost here. We're going to taper down. So you got to be very careful with your rasp here. And as you're doing this, take a look at your leg and see where it gets thinner and thinner. You see this? We're about the right height up through this area and right down here, but we thin down going down into here. We'll just keep working that down. You see, you can tell the difference here right now. Just go ahead and take some more off of there. I can't find my calipers. I think somebody borrowed them and didn't bring them back. So, otherwise I could take measurements like this, the width, thickness, things like that. But we can pretty much eyeball her. We're getting her. Everything is kind of narrows down. See, like this here? Everything kind of narrows down. So you just keep narrowing it down to a feather edge almost. Then we just keep going. And then for the leg here, we'll go ahead and just cut that out with a knife a little bit. That way I can get the joint goes clear up into here. And you gotta be careful here. You don't want to take too much out of there, otherwise you risk breaking this leg off. Then it'd be something like so. You just keep trimming her away. Like that. Let's see what it looks like here. We'll put this leg on top of here. And you still see we got a little bit more to do here. I think we round this a little bit. I know we're about the right thickness. This here has to be trimmed down to paper, to just as thin as this bone right here. So you gotta be kind of careful going up in here. Otherwise you won't be able to get your skin around there. And you've got it thins down here on this inside too here. So anyway, this kind of looks like the leg if you bend it like so. That's not bad. You can see that. The joint here needs to be rounded a little bit more, but we're going to go narrow that down too. Let's see what she looks like now. It looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do, we'll set this leg aside. We'll do a test run on the rabbit here. Let's see, see how it looks on the rabbit. Be just like this right here, see? Then his foot will come out here. So, okay, we got the back leg. Let's do a front leg. Just go ahead and dismember him like you would if you were going to eat him. Just like this. There we go. We're going to lay him out here. Get him. He'll be, his leg will be, let's see, we got the right side. Just like that. So, we'll just build her just something like that right there. And there we are. There's our front leg. Drawn out. And we'll cut it off here. Okay, we're going to thin this one down right away. Cut the thickness of it. Looks like it's about 1/2 an inch or so. So we're just going to go ahead and cut 1/2 an inch there. Just slab that right on off of there, and we'll be able to do our other front leg on there. And cut this one out with the knife. It's not that thick. You'll see the way I'm following that around there. Now you can use sandpaper, you can use about anything you want to use here. I just use this rasp. It's got a heavy coarse side and then it's got a fine side, so I usually use the heavy side for thinning. You'll notice on here, you got everything is kind of thin edges, so we're just going to go around here and smooth her out. See, get a basic shape first, see what happens. And we'll do the other side. Just kind of get the rough edges off first. Very carefully. Very gently. This is good learning experience for people that have never made their own forms. You can buy them. Everything you can buy now is pretty much pre-done for taxidermists. It makes it easier, but I think if you learn the basics, it's a lot easier to work in this craft, I call it. I guess you'd call it a craft. Let's see what we look like here. And that doesn't look too bad already, you see that? So we'll just go ahead and round that out a little bit. So there we go, we got our front legs. Now I know I did the head on one already. Carved out the head. So what we're going to do, we got the right side done. I'm going to go ahead and write R on here. Okay, you can see that R. And then we're going to take these off and we're going to make the body. We're going to get rid of this arm here. I got to make another one of these out of that other side. And the same way with the leg here. Well, let's see what we got here. We'll go ahead and cut this. Okay, so we got this leg. Left side, left leg. Let's go ahead and cut the head off here and the neck. We'll do that. And then we'll lay out the body here. I'm going to lay out the body. Got a lot of extra stuff hanging off this body here. Anyway, this body is going to be kind of bent over, okay? So we're just going to do a rough outline here of him bent over. Okay, there we got the rough outline there. I'm going to get a napkin. What we're going to do is we're going to get this thing cut out, and then you see how I cut this? This is where that back is, where the legs will go. Now I know we aren't nearly wide enough, so what I want to do is I'm going to shape this piece here first, one side of it. Okay, so there's our thing. It'll be just like this. The right side, this will be our rabbit. And we'll get him shaped up and make him just as thick as we need to get another layer on there. Well, we're just going to go ahead and trace this out. Cut this out, and that'll make our rabbit. So we get this traced out, or cut out, we can glue it together, and then thin it the way we want to. Get it as thin as we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Okay. Make sure we got the right deal here. This is where your caliper to come in handy. You could tell what size that was. We are just a little bit over the width of one of these, probably about 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one in half. You see that there? We're almost the same height, but we got a little bit so we can round it off. We'll glue this together. The reason it looks longer is because we haven't got it bent over like it should be. We're going to bend this over like this, and it'll be all right. So anyway, we're waiting for our glue to heat up. It'll be nice. We'll get this thing done and get some experience on building a form. I'm just starting it on this side while the gun's heating up. The glue gun is heating up, so just make sure you hold it the way it's supposed to, in the right place. And this is where your calipers will come in handy. You gotta remember, the chest is gonna come down to a V, kind of narrow down. It'll just be wide on the back and narrow on the side. Let's see what we got going for a glue gun here. It looks like it might work. I don't want to get the glue too hot, otherwise it'll melt right on through the foam. So this way here, then press down. Put some in here. Okay, so we'll start at the top. This is the head area, the neck right here. So we're going to come up here. I'm going to build a little neck here. Where the neck comes up right here. Just got to be thinned down quite a bit here, because we're going down to the rib cage here. The ribs aren't very thick through here, probably about an inch. So we want to get down to about an inch in the rib area. And we're going to go from this direction here, this width, which is probably an inch and a half. Now remember, this is our neck area right here. So. Make sure you keep her centered here, you know, your back. And then we're just going to go right down the line here with the back. You see the back is just all the way down to this area here, which is where we go down to thin it out, where our legs are going to go in. We're going to end up about an inch wide. Now if you had your calipers, you'd go through here and you could see just about where you got to be. You'd have the precise dimensions. But somebody borrowed mine, so I don't have them. So I'll show you what we're going to do here, and then let's try the right side one here. Okay, the right one was right here. So we can go ahead and adjust this out here. Let me get my knife here. We'll round these edges a little bit. Just like this here. You see how that is? If we want to bend over a little more, we'll go ahead and get this right here. just like this here. We want it bent over some more, just like this. You see that? And then we'll round all this stuff together. Just like this. Just like that. Now, when we put that together, we'll just put a couple pins to there, and you'll be good to go. But we'll get this thing finished here. This we're going to see how far the ribs come down here. And I can see right here, the ribs are going to come down just like this here. And your leg here is going to be just about like that right there. So we'll recess this in here a little bit. Let's see what we got here. I think it'll work out just right. Like this right here. His leg will be there and the paw will be down here. I think that'll be great. Okay, we'll do the other side. See if it's about the same width. Look at there, about the same width. Okay, so we got the head. We're going to kind of trace this out. I'm going to leave the neck right here. Then we're just going to kind of trace that out. Slope of the head right. Yeah, that kind of looks like it. Then we'll go ahead and cut this out. Go ahead, and you got a good start here with the head. So I'm just going to go ahead and I've got it right here in front of me. So I'm going to go from wide to narrow. Take more off the nose than you would the other one, the other side. We got the basic shape, and that's all you should need. See that? Now you're going to be surprised at how fast, once you just start doing stuff like this, instead of buying all your stuff, that's it, that's fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong. But if you're just starting out, I think you really learn how to do taxidermy when you start building some things on your own, making your own heads, improvising, I should say. And when you get some experience, that's what you can do. You can improvise. Don't improvise on other people's mounts until you are proficient. and have the ability to do it. It's you don't want to screw up somebody else's mount. And we're about the same height here. I'm going to go ahead and look at the back of the head here. Comes down here. Comes back into the neck here a little bit. We got the back of the skull. Usually you have an indentation where the neck is on most animals. Okay, she's getting close, getting close. We have to come down real narrow. We still got, see how we got to get that narrow here? We got a big cheek muscle right here. So we're going to get narrow there. We're building that cheek muscle right there. Comes around by the eye. Now if you take too much off, you can only build it up with clay. Or you start over again. Doesn't matter. What the heck they're gonna do. This whole cheek muscle goes around to the back of the head from the chin on up. See that? So we're gonna go ahead and thin this down right along here. Same thing on this side. Just thin your neck down a little. And they don't have a very big neck. Take a look at his neck and this neck. We're still a little big on the neck. So we'll just go lightly around it. On the back side. Okay. Now, we're doing a little bit around the cheek here. This is where that muscle was here. The cheek muscle here, right like so. We're going to round that up a little bit so it isn't quite so harsh. And we'll put a little clay in here just to get that cheek muscle more pronounced. And it kind of peters out right below the eye here. A rabbit's eyes are right to the top of its head here. And to the side. And that's because they're just, they're always looking up for predators. See, they actually come to the top. But take a look at this head now. We're pretty darn close. I think we're going to be good. Now what we want to do is we want to cut a slot in here for your mouth. Now don't be too rough here. All the way around. We can always put some clay in here. Now we got to decide on the eyes. See, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the head like this. I'm going to say the eye goes right here. This is the center of the eye. You see how big that eye is? That's going to have to be cut down there. Like so. Now we'll go right across from that eye right here and do the same thing. You always fill that hole up with clay. Now, you see the cheek muscle comes right on up here to this. So we're going to go ahead and just take a little bit off of here. Let me go get a couple eyes. Let's see. How are we looking there? I think it looks pretty darn good. What do you think? We'll fill up some clay around here, the muscle part of that. I'll show you here in a minute. Put this eye in. And look across from each other here and make sure they look the same. Straight across. Look at them from the front. They're sticking a little bit above the plane there of the eye. And let's see what we got here. Let's get some clay on here and see if he looks like a rabbit. We've got a little bit of clay to put on the top here. Sticking out about the same distance. A little bit on underneath here. Not much more. And then when we get the skin on there, we can go ahead and see how that'll look. Let's take a little gander at it right now and see how that's going to fit. We'll go ahead and just put this thing in here and see if the head is going to fit and stuff like that. And just take a quick, again, well, look at that. Doesn't that just look sweet? And here's the side with the clay on it. That thing almost looks real. The mouth looks like it's going to fit good. I mean, that's going to be a pretty nice looking rabbit, don't you think? So, we got that. What we're going to do, we got this rabbit pretty much figured out here for the head. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other eye here. Anyway. Now you can coat this whole thing with clay if you want, but I don't see anything, I don't see that being necessary because we got the cheek cut in here. We could widen this cheeks out a little bit though. I see that right now, so. You see how I'm building that cheek up there? To look like this cheek here. So That's nice. I'm just looking here to see where I want to put my next bunch of clay. I want to make this come right down here. That looks pretty darn good, if I don't say so myself. See, we run out of meat right up in this area. It's mostly bone. So, that doesn't look bad. Let's work on this side here now. Put a big gob of clay on there. You can look at her from the back, do whatever you want. Just make sure it's looking about the same on both sides. They don't look too good without their skin on them, though, I'll tell you that. But he's looking a lot better than he did. He looks about the same. None of them look good without their skin on, but anyway, we got that done.